Self-talk is critical, right? It's the reason why we started this podcast, because we wanted people to know that the things you say to yourself absolutely, without doubt, determines what you attract for yourself.
I mean, your self-talk can change your life.
Yeah, no doubt.
It really can.
No doubt. And so what we say, what we believe, certainly becomes a reflection of what our life is. Mm-hmm. And typically, I've found that if you have someone in your life who you trust, who you respect, and who you give permission to call you out when you're not saying the things about yourself that's attracting the life you say you want for yourself, then that level of accountability creates habits. And I shouldn't say that, we always have habits, but creates the habits that will yield the results that we want. This is key.
If you're a go-getter, faith-driven, and family-focused, and need to break through to your next level, this is the podcast for you. Your self-talk can reshape every area of your life. It's time to dream and think big. Welcome to the Self-Talk Experience with Darnell and Tracy Self. It's time to elevate, baby. Let's get into the show.
Hey, welcome to the Self-Talk Experience with Darnell and Tracy Self.
Hey, everybody, listen, I'm so excited about this episode.
You're excited about every episode, actually. You say that. You're always excited about it.
I am, because when I think about what we want to talk about, I get excited because I know it's helped us out and so many other people. And here's an opportunity for us to really talk today to our Self-Talk Experience audience about how perceived failures and flaws can really be their gifts.
How so?
Because I'll just give you an example.
Okay.
I remember thinking to myself, I don't ever want to speak in public because I have a lisp tongue.
Yes.
And I remember in the third grade, certain things you remember and you never forget. I'm 52 years old. I'm talking about a story from when I was in the third grade. And I guarantee you there's some folks who will never forget certain incidents in their lives.
It was a dot for you.
It was a dot for me.
Yeah.
For those who've watched that episode, Connect the Dots. If not, go check it out.
Yeah.
But third grade, we were in a circle.
Do you remember your teacher's name?
I don't. I remember what she looks like.
Okay.
But I don't remember her name.
Okay.
And we were in a circle and everyone had to read when it came to their turn. Mm-hmm. And I remember it being my turn and I wouldn't read.
Because you were embarrassed?
I was embarrassed.
Oh.
I was embarrassed. And I'd rather be in trouble with the teacher, which I got in trouble, than to be teased by my peers.
Wow.
And, kids can be mean sometimes.
Absolutely.
And I remember being teased on the bus. I remember being teased just because all of my S words were really bad. And it's better now, right? I took
it's
voice
so
and diction
cute
class.
though, because it just came out when you said bus. Oh, babe. I think because you're talking about it, I'm paying more attention to it, but it was so cute. Say bus again.
No, I'm not.
Bus. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm so glad that I'm over that. What if I needed therapy?
Because I didn't say it in a teasing way. I said, babe, that was so cute. I thought it was cute. I didn't tease you.
So what we're talking about today, self-talk audience, is how sometimes your perceived failures, perceived is the key word, or flaws, really end up being your gifts. I remember you sharing, just like I just shared about my lisp tongue, right? And I shouldn't use that as an example because now you're going to be looking and folks are going to be pinching out and oh yeah, I can see it. But I remember you saying the first few episodes, I can't believe I'm doing this. I can't believe my husband has me in front of the scenes. I'm normally behind the scenes. And because you felt that's not really me. I'm not comfortable being in front of the scenes. But here's my point in how it's a gift. Sometimes when we give off that we're perfect in a certain way, like a perfect look, perfect at speaking, perfect at a sport, it doesn't relate to most folks because most folks don't start at a sport. There are more folks who didn't start than folks who started. There are more folks who have failed than folks who have never failed at something.
Right.
Right? If everybody looks at their life, they're like, yeah, I remember that wasn't, I failed at that, at something. And there are some folks who are just like on top of everything. But that's a minority. So if you ever want to relate to the majority, then you have to talk about what that perceived shortcoming is. And maybe it's a real shortcoming.
Right.
Right. But yet there are folks out there right now who are like, I could never see myself doing a podcast or being in front of the camera until you said, I feel like that, but I'm going to do it anyway. And it gives someone permission to expand their comfort zone. And so all I'm saying is that the thing that we feel like is the reason why we shouldn't is the reason why we should, because there's somebody who will only relate to what you say is your flaw or your failure. And they're like, they need permission. They're saying to themselves, oh my God, if she did it, I can do it. Oh my gosh, if he did it with a speech impediment, so can I. Somebody's saying I'm not pretty enough, right? I'm not young enough. I don't have enough money to start this. I don't have the time to start this, until someone says I did it without time. I did it and I don't really feel good about my image yet. I'm working out. I'm trying to get there. I'm heavier than I want to be, but I'm going to do it while I'm heavy.
Right.
And people can witness me becoming better, becoming at a higher level of fitness.
But you just said that that's a lot of people who feel that way.
Yeah.
But a lot of them don't take that step.
Yeah.
A lot of them don't come out of their comfort zone or feel like they can emerge from the shell. So what is it, do you think that, is it the self-talk? Is it the self-talk of this person who is more positive that can do it? And then it's another person who has the exact same qualities and can be the same kind of inspiration, but they don't have that self-motivating talk. Like, what is it that can cause you to say, you know what, I'm just going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm scared. I'm nervous. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm just going to do it. Just like when we started the podcast.
Right.
We didn't really know what we were doing. We took some courses and tried to learn what we could, but we were kind of feeling our way through it, if you could say it that way.
Yep. So is your question like, what do I feel
What do you
like
feel
causes people to step out in spite of?
Is it just self-talk? Or does it have to be more?
No, I think it's more, right? Yes, it's self-talk. Self-talk is critical, right? It's the reason why we started this podcast, because we wanted people to know that the things you say to yourself absolutely, without doubt, determines what you attract for yourself.
I mean, your self-talk can change your life.
Yeah, no doubt.
It really can.
No doubt. No doubt. And so what we say, what we believe, certainly becomes a reflection of what our life is.
Mm-hmm.
And typically, I've found that if you have someone in your life who you trust, who you respect, and who you give permission to call you out when you're not saying the things about yourself that's attracting the life you say you want for yourself, then that level of accountability creates habits. And I shouldn't say that, we always have habits, but creates the habits that will yield the results that we want. This is key. And I see it so many times. People are like, I don't understand why I am where I am right now. Well, let's talk about this, because you've been saying these things which have led you to exactly what you've been saying.
And if you're saying those certain things to the same people, you're going to get the same response.
Yeah. Yeah. Possibly. Right. Because like, if you say to me over and over again, some things that I feel aren't what's best for you becoming the best version of yourself, then I'm going to say to you, hey, babe, that's probably not the best self-talk. And so how else could you say that? And then it caused you to say, well, I guess I could have said it this way. And then, because we do this all the time, especially since we started the podcast. And then you get people who text you, we get comments where people like, oh my gosh, I changed the thing I say to my kids. I've changed the things I said to myself. I've changed the things I've said to my spouse, where it could come across as condescending, belittling. And this is unintentional. I believe, a lot of folks have good intentions on the things that they're saying, but they didn't even realize that, wow, if I just make this shift, then I can create a better life for myself.
I agree.
So let's take a quick break, and then let's come back and talk about some of the things that you and I both felt like would hold us back, but those things actually elevated us to a higher level. Because somebody right now is saying something to themselves and they're like, I just feel stuck in life. I feel like my relationships are about the same. Like they're okay. And I think that there's an opportunity for people to have healthier relationships, have greater finances, have a more joyful experience in this thing we call life if they made slight adjustments. That's what I want to talk about when we come back.
Okay.
Hey, what's up, fam? You got to connect with J&E Builders. They buy homes in any condition. J&E Builders even help out with distressed properties. And if you're dealing with a significant amount of taxes, J&E Builders will assist you with that home as well. Give them a hit at J&E_builders. That's at Instagram at J&E_builders.
Hey, Self Talk Experience family. If you want to do some great shopping and get great finds like this, follow my girl, thebrianna.k on Instagram. And if you want to shop, go here.
So author and trainer Monte Sanders has been in this health and wellness space for over 20 years. His most notable clients are NFL Hall of Famers Ray Lewis and Ed Reed. And guess what? He's got an Amazon best-selling book that you can gain access to right now. It's The Power of You versus You. I'm going to tell you right now how you can get access to that and his other programs. All you have to do is go to thepowerofyouversusyou.com. That's it. Thepowerofyouversusyou.com to get access to that amazing book as well as all of his other programs. Hey, what's up, Self-Talk Experience family? Listen, I thought I was going to get some bathrooms renovated, but I had no idea when I connected with my man, Stan Neal, that it would be more than a renovation. I'm not even sure what the term should be. Maybe transformation, because I started with the bathrooms and all of a sudden my entire basement was redone in a way that my family members thought I moved. Seriously. So if you're looking to take your house to the next level, whether it's some custom construction, some transformation of your bedroom, your bathrooms, your family room, your great room, I did it all. I mean, if I showed you my entire house before and after pictures, in fact, I'm going to show you some, you would say, no way is that the same room or the same house. Listen, I'm just saying this because I've got personal experience with this gentleman. So you want to connect with him, I'm going to give you the number, his office number to reach him, as well as email. And again, you will not be disappointed. So if you want to reach him via his office number, 202-359-3923. Again, 202-359-3923. And email is Stan, Stan.nealjr, Nealjr, at freshairllc.com. Connect with my man Stan. You won't be disappointed. All right, we're back. Self-Talk Experience. So we're talking about how expressing what we may feel or deem as a failure or as a flaw, being able to be vulnerable enough in certain environments where it really impacts other people because they're dealing with similar things. And if someone doesn't voice that, if someone doesn't share that story, then somebody is left in the dark and perhaps will never be able to relieve themselves of that particular burden of life.
Well, yeah, I have gotten a lot of comments about the episode that we did where I talked about taking things personal. Because that to me is definitely a flaw, because you shouldn't take things personally. Right. And I've had a hard time. It's a struggle for me. And I didn't even realize when I was talking about it, how vulnerable I was being and how much feedback I would get from that, because I felt like I was sharing something that was such a flaw for me and such an issue. And it caused other people to say, wow, I'm the same way. And what did you do? How did you do it? I got so much feedback from that, from sharing that. And it was hard to share.
Yeah.
And to be honest, it's still a struggle for me.
Right.
But I know that I'm better. I can kind of say snap back faster than I used to.
Yeah.
So I think I'm still taking things personal sometimes, and that's just honest. I mean, it doesn't change overnight. Like, oh, I realize I do this, I'm going to stop doing it.
Right.
Yeah,
you did it last night.
It's a process. Really?
Yep.
But did I bounce back
You
from
did.
it?
You did. You did. You bounced back. You did. You're like, you know what? I think that I'm taking that personally. Like, you even admit it. Like, you are.
But I shouldn't have even said I think it. If I felt that I was.
Yeah, I know. But listen, here's a wonderful thing about growth. Growth in healing typically involves some type of pain. And so so I don't want anyone to think that we're speaking on these mics as if we have perfected all these areas and like we were flawed, we had failed. Here's the wonderful thing about, I found, I'll just talk about myself, about struggle, about objection, about moments in my life where my esteem was low, where I second guessed myself. What I realized is that I'm asking God to put me in a position where I can bless more people, where I can elevate more people, where people can become a better version of themselves, and then in turn continue to bless other people. And so if that's the case, then I have to have some type of growth through some type of struggle in order to inspire other people to get through a struggle.
But can you really grow if you're not in pain?
Go ahead.
No, I mean, if everything is roses, are you growing? Or do you have to go through a pain point to say, you know what, not anymore. I don't want to do this. I don't want to be this.
Yeah. No, I mean, the answer is you can grow without pain, sure, right? Because like, for an example, today I read, today I listened to audio, and it wasn't because I was in pain. It was simply because I desired to become better. And by the way, I don't always like the activity, but I like the results, right? So people are like, man, you got to talk to people for a living. I don't really want to talk to everybody all the time because not everybody's nice, but I like the results I get from the impact I'm making, the value I'm adding to people's lives who are receptive.
Right.
Right. So the answer to your question is I don't always have pain involved in my growth, but I desire it and it's a habit for me. And I think initially when it's not a habit, moving it into anything that you don't normally do, there's typically some change, and not everybody enjoys change. So that may come across as painful. Well,
then that's me, because I reject change.
Yeah.
So that's probably why it was even in me to ask that question.
Right. Yep. So I think what we're suggesting here, in fact, I know what we're suggesting here is that if you're dealing with a negative self-talk and you're thinking of something that you want better, whatever that is, right? I want a better relationship with my sibling. I want a better relationship with my coworker. I'd like to have a better relationship with money. The relationship I have with money is off. I'm suggesting that we learn how to, one, find somebody who can hold us accountable with the things we're saying to ourselves about that relationship. Because if we continue to talk about how bad it is, we're attracting a worse relationship with money, with the person. If we're being solution oriented, then we're talking about how we wish things were.
Right.
Right? Like, I can't wait. Right? Or I am.
It's almost like a dream board.
Yep.
In your mind.
Yep.
Not a physical board.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what started happening for me, I'll just give you, since I'm going to bring it full circle here with my lisp tongue.
Okay.
And so I was talking about the third grade. I got in trouble with my mom when I got home, and she's like, son, you have to read.
So they called your mom?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And so I wonder if my mom even remembers this. She may.
Yeah.
So I got in trouble, which was okay, because again, I'd rather be in trouble. I shouldn't say that. I didn't. It wasn't okay, but I'd rather be in trouble from my mom than be teased by my peers.
Yeah,
as I
you said that. Mm-hmm.
Right. So, but as I got to college, oral communication was still my worst class at Bowie State. I did not like it at all. But I started taking classes like voice and diction, and I was motivated to get better. I was tired of saying, I'm not a great speaker.
Right.
I don't like speaking. And I don't remember what shifted that, what really motivated me to say enough is enough. And maybe that was some pain there, right? Maybe if I had therapy on that, it would come out. But I took a voice and diction class. I started, being able to enunciate things better. And I'm still not perfect at that, right? But I know it's often instead of often. I know it's salmon and not salmon, right? So I started learning different things.
Yeah.
So was I insensitive just now by saying that?
No. I'm just,
you looked at me like.
No, I'm just, my mom went to another place because I'm thinking of you sitting in that third grade class, and in your wildest dreams, you would have never imagined that you would actually be doing the exact same thing for a living that you were scared to do that in that time in your life.
Yeah.
It's amazing how you can change so completely.
Yeah.
And your thinking can change drastically.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking about.
No, thank you. Thank you. And look, we're proof of this. We are proof that where you finish doesn't have to look anything like where you started.
Yeah.
And we are proof
Absolutely.
that I don't care if you're saying to yourself right now, I just don't have a lot of money. I just want you to slowly shift to a place where you say to yourself, I see myself at a place where money no longer matters. Not because money's everything, but when you don't have to think about it, you don't think that money's everything. A lot of folks used to say to us all the time, it's all about the money, just because we were so focused on building a successful business. But it's not really about the money when you don't have to think about it. When you think about the accommodations and not the cost of the destination, you know what I mean? We're like, oh, let's stay here. It's different than, well, how much does it cost? So you really think about the money when you don't have it.
Yeah.
And so all I'm saying is let's shift what we start to say to ourselves about ourselves, even when we feel like right now it's a flaw, right now it's a failure. I'm telling you that same thing is going to be a gift, because it's going to cause some folks to say things like, oh my gosh, that's me. And if you did it, I can do it too.
Absolutely.
Right? If you've gone from not speaking, don't tell me that you can't get to a place where you can speak, because we're proof of that. So congratulations in advance on using the things you see as a flaw, the things you see as failures in your life. Congratulations, because my friends, they are stepping stones to the place that's going to take you to bless a whole lot of people who are dealing with the exact same thing. People need to hear your story, but first remember to tell that story to yourself, because the stories you tell yourself about yourself eventually determines what you attract for yourself. God bless you guys. See you the next time.
Thank you for listening to the Self-Talk Podcast with Darnell and Tracy Self. We hope you enjoyed. Be sure to rate and review this podcast on your favorite podcast listening platform. And we'll see you next time. And remember, talk good to yourself.
If you've ever started something and said to yourself, I'm not quitting until I reach the finish line, there's a perfect podcast for you. The We Won't Quit podcast by my man, Mike Humes, mailman to millionaire, never gave up. Not only did he have success, but he's helped a ton of other people do the same thing. He's going to be interviewing people who never stopped until they finish. So check it out. We Won't Quit podcast.